Welcome to this week's TDD Weekly Report for the week ending December 11th. I have a new correspondent from the Netherlands, Sponge1310, who sent me in this article, a very interesting article about what took place in Holland HarleyDavidson dealership. The city that it took place in, I'm probably going to butcher the name, but I'll give it a shot. It's called IJmuiden, I'm guessing. This happened back in, let me see if I can get the date here of when it happened. I believe it happened back in November. I don't have the date. I screwed up and didn't get the date here, but it happened recently. And what happened was a suspect was seriously injured in the course of, here it is, here's the date, December 2nd, 2010. It's December 2nd. A robber was injured in a Thursday morning robbery at a Harley-Davidson shop. The man had entered the building and walked in with two men present. The salesmen at the shop were there, and he didn't expect them to be there. The men present in the building overpowered this assailant and wounded him rather seriously. Then after they called the police, the robbery suspect was taken away in an ambulance, and the police actually called the salesmen in for questioning and arrested them, I guess, and charged them. So that'll give you a little idea that it's probably, even in the Netherlands, not a good idea to break in and rob or try to rob a Harley-Davidson motorcycle dealership. The kind of guys, if you encounter somebody, are not going to be probably the friendliest guys in the world. And my next story, some of you may have followed the Art Bell show, and now it's George Norrie that is running the show now, the George Norrie show late at night. And just because a lot of times you're paranoid about what the government's doing does not necessarily mean you're wrong. This is from Universe Today. I'll give the link to the article here. I'm not going to give the link to the other previous article I did because, believe it or not, it's all in Dutch, and I had a hard time translating it. So if I give you the article, it's probably not going to be much use to you. But if anybody does want the link, just email me, and I'll send you the link if you want to deal with it in Dutch. But this article in Universe Today is called The Fall and Rise of X, meaning the X-plane designations. I'll put some pictures up here. Some amateur photographers, amateur radio astronomers, and people that can get a hold of tracking equipment or build it on their own. Amateurs can get a hold of a lot of decent equipment nowadays, and they're able to track sometimes what the government is trying to do in secret. Well, the X-plane project has always been a thing by the Air Force, and a few other the forces are involved in it too. Well, what they've actually done is they have an airplane called the X-37B that they believe is what they have been spotting lately, and it also landed just recently at a military facility, and they think that is what they're actually tracking and seeing working at a high rate of speed. It's about maybe a third, I think, or a quarter, about the quarter of the size of the shuttle, and it can do basically some of the same things the shuttle can do, except for obviously being the size of it, it can't do the heavy lifting. And they're also talking about, there was a previous airplane to that called the X-34, and they're going to take that out of mothballs too. So I'm guessing myself, based on what I read of the article here and what they're doing with the space shuttle not being active pretty soon and able to do military missions along with the civilian science missions, they're probably going to be using this to either update or repair or place in orbit spy satellites and other military communication type of satellites. They may do it for some science work too, but it looks to me like the way of the size of these crafts, it's not going to really hold a lot of men or a lot of equipment. It's probably either a one or a two-man type of aircraft here, but still maybe be able to do some kind of limited things here. Next up, this was sent as an actual offshoot of a link that my correspondent Harry T. in the Northwest sent me. This is a guy, his name is Oliver Kralos, and what he's been doing is hacking around with the Kinect system of Xbox, where it uses the sensors. I did a TDD report on that just a little while back, and it uses the sensors to actually measure three-dimensional spatial objects, and it uses that to track your arms and your body movements to play the games. Well, he's actually used it himself to create 3D type of movies out of it, actually, to create 3D movies. And what he has done just recently, first he was using one Kinect, he found out he could actually take two Kinects and two webcams together and actually make a true 3D, I guess, a true 3D area or what he did was he actually took his room and just used the two cameras and software of meshing the two images together and actually made it into a true 3D environment. And I mean by that, it's not like the 3D you see in the movie theaters where you're just basically getting a view from one location and you're getting it in a stereoscopic type of effect. What he's doing is creating an environment to where you can actually be looking from what looks like a camera angle, and you're looking around different places in his room, and you're actually able to move around, and there's no actual camera there where you're viewing. It's pretty much a virtual camera because the software itself is creating the 3D environment. Now with using two cameras, he actually has, you can see as you watch his video, and I'll give you the link to the article and the video, you can watch that there are places where parts of objects are missing, and that's because of the fact he's only using two cameras. If you would set this up with three cameras, you could pretty much cover the whole room, and you could put yourself in any area and be able to see. I think in the future, what may be coming about in the next few years, if they can get this perfected, is you may actually get to see 3D movies. Maybe you'd need special glasses in your computer, but you could actually put yourself inside the movie itself with the actors and actresses, and you choose your own location that you want to watch the movie, and you can change it in real time. I know some of the DVD special effects, you can actually choose different camera angles too by choosing menus on the DVD itself, but this means you would actually be able to choose wherever you wanted to go in the surroundings. So to me, that's getting even closer to what real 3D would be, where you're actually in the movie set itself moving around. And so, last up to my correspondent, Harry T. in the Northwest, also sent me some supplemental material. There was this guy in Australia, let me get his name here, if I can find it, James Corbett, that I did an article on last time, that takes car parts and makes them into different sculptures and stuff. I wasn't able to get some good photographs of it, but my correspondent in the Northwest, Harry T., came through for me and got me some really good photographs of a lot of his stuff. So as the show comes to an end here, I will just kind of end it with a slideshow showing you some of these better quality photographs of this artist's work. So take care, everybody. I believe next week will be the Christmas TDD report. So I will catch you then. Most likely I will be taking a break for Christmas itself, but there should be a nice Christmas-themed TDD report next week. So take care, everybody. I will catch you next week.